Like we had that math resource. Remember, like, what was it even called? Like,
Okay, we will officially call our meeting to order at 4:16. Thank you to everybody for being here.
Lauren's getting my lunch for tomorrow.
From what? From where?
Vinaigrette.
Oh.
The Santorini is my favorite salad.
Okay.
Yes, please tell me.
Test.
I still like my cats up with it is what it is.
Okay, we're just going to do it this way. So, if I need to pull something up there, I will. But so we'll call the meeting to order at 4:17. Thank you to everybody for being here. We'll note that Miss Hill's running a few minutes behind, but she is on her way with that. So the first item on our agenda is to approve today's agenda. So if everyone wants to take a second to review, it's just a one-pager. And then we'll take a motion and a second to approve. Motion by Ms. Ott. Second by Ms. Bowers. All in favor of approving our agenda for today, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to approve the minutes from our March 11th special called meeting. So if you want to take a second to review those.
What was the final booster nonprofit?
32. 32,000. We only right now we've only spent 20, but we've bought 20,000 more of library furniture. It's already ordered.
Oh, I was like, wow.
And then Megan sent us stuff today about the cafeteria screen.
Yeah.
Screens.
Like for
No.
security perf for the outside of the cafeteria windows, so we can see out, but people can't see in.
All the people who drop off in the morning.
So, okay, do we have a motion to approve our minutes? Ms. Lane and Ms. Hobbs, all in favor of approving our minutes, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is our good news report. We've had a pretty long time since our last meeting. So we had Boosterthon Fun Run, which was a blast. It was an absolutely beautiful day. I sweated a lot in that sumo suit, but it was great. We had our conference week, which was very well attended. I think we had almost 200 families come through within the week for conferences. We had our first Future Eagle play date for next year's kindergarten class. So they're coming to the playground and just having some fun. Fifth grade went to BizTown. We had our second and third grade showcase. We had a house meeting where we announced our top 5 house chair nominees for next year. So they get to kind of help out. We will be doing mascot auditions in a couple weeks because there's a costume for each house. So we'll be there. They get to audition for that. We did 3rd through 5th grade map testing. I don't have the official data for that right now, but I will tell you it's extremely good. Like it is like we're in the 70% of students meeting growth in 3rd through 5th grade in math and reading. Like it is very strong. We're testing K-2 right now. We also had Paraeducator Appreciation Day, School Librarian Day, Assistant Principal Week. We had spring break there as well. So any additional items people want to celebrate?
Teddy Bear Parade was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
yes, thank you. I'm sorry. The teddy bear parade was a ton of fun. It was so cute.
Thank you
and-
everyone for participating.
I love that the kids got to come in or the parents got to come in too and
Yes.
with them.
it was fun.
Okay, awesome. Is there any public comment this evening?
Well, I have a
Great.
lot of comments.
So the next item on here is just our CSIP plan. So we're gonna look today at our family survey. So okay, we can read it a little bit better here.
I pulled the slides up. I couldn't read them on the slides either.
Yeah, okay. Well, I will send this out as well.
Oh, I can see, you can read it much better in here.
Yeah, it's much
Yeah.
better on print. I don't know why
On the
that is.
computer, you can't read it at all.
Yeah. So we had a participation rate of 75% of our families completed the survey, which is phenomenal. 284 out of 378 families completed this survey. I'm going to say, I don't know if it's true, but I'm gonna say it's the highest in the district, just because that's what I believe.
You're manifesting.
And I just know that's really high. Last year we were at 50%. So we went up 25% from last year to this year. When we look at kind of demographics, our biggest demographic is in our white students, followed by our Hispanic students, then our Asian, Black or African American, 2 or more races. But we did have feedback from every single subgroup that we have here at Glendover. So every subgroup did that. When we look at kind of some groups overall, 36.3% of our surveys came from our GT students. We have about 25% of our population is gifted and talented in some capacity. EL, this number makes me extremely happy. We had 18.7% of our EL state that they were EL. And then we had special ed, 17.6% of special ed completed this. So there are 4 main categories that we looked at, that it looks at. The first category is classroom learning. And so the family survey is broken up into district feedback and school feedback. So I've only provided our school feedback here, but our classroom learning, 95% of respondents marked agree with high levels of classroom learning. And you can read on your screen all the different areas. Everywhere we went up in classroom learning, except for the school effectively engages my child in learning. That went from a 96 last year down to a 95, but everything else maintained or went up compared to last year. Then when you look at the next one, which is culture and climate, we went up in every single area on this survey. So all of the categories, our overall score here was a 96, which was up from a 93 last year, or sorry, yes, a 93. So a high score there. Family engagement, I don't think you have this in your packet because I realized I didn't include it earlier, but it was too late. So family engagement, we're at 92% right now. Last year we were at 90. So the area that is the lowest right now is I feel connected to other families who have students at this school. So, and I will send this, you'll have access to this through the link. So if you want to click in and look at it all, dig in with that. And I will try, I'm going to send out better pictures to the staff. So I will send those out to you guys as well. So you guys can have that. And then the portrait of a graduate, this is a new question, new feedback area where they asked for feedback. These are the district portrait of a graduate areas. And so it's looking at each of those concepts of a lifelong learner, 92% said yes. Civically engaged and culturally responsive, 95% said yes. Future and life ready, 91% said yes. And reflective and resilient, 94% said yes. So from here, what happened today is our school committees looked at this data and read all of the comments today and started to think about what are some action steps, what are some next steps that we can do. Our school-wide success committee is going to be then developing an action plan based on this feedback. Both the action plan and this data will be shared at an upcoming PTA meeting and with the council as we work through this process. Because I'm very proud that we had 284 people here that filled this out. And so I want to always take feedback seriously, but I really want to have a plan and say, how do we move forward with this? So any questions on the family survey? Awesome. The next item here is two documents around our professional development plan. The first one is the official plan, which is a whole bunch of junk. Not gonna lie. So what this says is there are two main focus areas for next year. The first one is curriculum implementation. As you know, we got all new curriculums this past year, and so our staff has requested more time to work on developing their skills and deepening their understanding around those curriculums. So it could utilize programs like iReady, Benchmark Advance, and Core Connections. So continuing with what we're doing. Last year, this goal was specifically targeted towards writing. So we've kind of broadened that goal out so that it can focus on all the content areas so that we don't.
Everyone doing core connections?
We're going to hopefully expand to third grade.
Okay.
So it's kind of just building on and building those components there. And then the other area is EL strategies. So just continuing to work on how do we support our English language learners through that. The rest of this document here just has some mumbo jumbo about all the different pieces. It pretty much just says we're going to do some professional learning around these two things. So if you want to take a second to just skim it,
Did we decide these or is this the district?
their district. And it's the same, like the student outcomes are the same for both goals.
Do we know what these are increasing from?
They are up roughly 2 to 5% from where we were at the end of 2024 for our test scores there.
They changed this to 75.
That goal has never been clearly identified as to anything, so
Okay.
and
Isn't that what that girl said when she came and did that?
yes,
training?
they
Okay.
change it all the time, and so
Okay, never mind. Moving on.
with the EL goal at the bottom, and I am going to be very honest, no one ever looks at this document. So we do, but this guides our work, but
Where it's
nobody else really like digs in. It's like, oh, I wonder what the professional learning plan for Glendover Elementary, like they don't do that. So
Submitted to somebody. at the
we
district?
submit it to the KDE and the district. So there's a director of professional learning who we submit it to.
But you don't ever get any feedback from
No.
one of them?
So there's no like these percentage goals for outcomes. It's like, that's what we have written down.
Yeah.
But nobody's gonna hold us accountable.
No, it's like, this is what our goal is. It's connected to our CSIP goals. So it's just, if we get it, awesome. If we don't, keep working. So, then the next document here is a rough calendar of, dates for when these things are going to, kind of occur. So you can see here, our first PL day, August 4th, would be kind of focused around behavioral strategies, working with students with exceptional needs. We've grown a lot in our kids with behavioral needs in the past 3 years. And so just thinking about how we support that. The second day, August 5th, is the Professional Learning Institutes at all the high schools. On the 7th, we would spend that morning focusing on curriculum implementation, so reviewing the curriculum programs. We would not have anything on the 8th because that is going to be Meet the Teacher night, so we want to give
There's
as much
nothing on
time.
the 6th either. Is that on purpose?
No, it's probably I put in the wrong date. It should be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing Thursday, or half day Friday. Whatever
Okay,
that is.
The 9th is a Saturday.
Okay, so then it should be it should be the 6th and the 8th. Thank you.
So 4, 5, 6, nothing the 8th, and this should.
Nothing the 7th. Yeah.
I'm like, cause hold up, those,
Yeah.
I was like,
Those are all work days, so we have to be here anyways, but it's just how much time do we allocate into these training things. And there's a whole lot more than 24 if you're doing the math. So, and then for PL day number 4, we've opted to take those 6 hours and spread them out throughout the year rather than having another full day of training that we're going to do and things we're already doing, working on school-wide behavior, curriculum, and EL. Then we have opening day, which is just general, how do we function? And then the district this year, through the calendar committee and the board, added a day off after fall break, winter break, and spring break.
After all three of them?
Yes.
Great.
Nope. Fall break, winter break, spring break.
You crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I called it rain.
So
I mean, that,
It
as
makes-
it, I don't even, like, I think it's dumb.
I said, well.
Like, if I'm gonna come to work, Just send the children, like, count it as a day.
there are some people who have stated that they have to work over spring break to be ready to teach on Monday. So this is the compromise so that you don't have
So,
to work over spring break.
Here's my thing. What do they do between, okay, so do they need a Monday off every week? Cause that's it, that's what that's saying. Like,
Yep.
on Friday to be ready for Monday, I need an extra day. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Like, this drives me crazy. This is a colossal waste.
Yep. This was advocated for by a teacher organization
Yeah.
that has a lot of voice right now. So, and is being viewed as representing, I think, a lot more teachers' opinions than they actually are.
Well,
But-
they're not representing.
Organization.
FCA. So yes, but we don't,
I mean, that literally, the theory behind it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Yep.
And then this is very inconvenient for parents. I mean, I
Yes,
just think
it
it's
is.
really
Can
disrespectful.
that organization also lobby UK to give every parent who's going to be impacted a paid day off to take?
we can try.
Like, how far is this gonna go?
I mean,
Yeah.
We used to not have fall break. And then we had 2
There would
days.
be like-
Now we have a whole week. And then the Monday after, because it's so hard to plan. I'm like, what?
This is just taking out snow days. So that now there are no weather makeup days within this. There are no, like, we don't have any built-in days. We still have that March day where they can take it,
Yeah.
but there aren't any like where he can forgive. Those are gone now. Those are these 3 days.
Maybe if we would have taken Chromebooks.
As
and
I
looked
say,
at
so I guess
that,
Chromebooks
that's
might
right.
go home in December.
They will either go home. It's rumored that we may have packets. Packets.
Elementary school may not be doing Chromebooks home at all because the breakage in elementary school is exponential. when
Yeah.
Kids start taking them.
I will say Miss Shin did packet,
Kindergarten all did.
and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know, our survey results don't.
Oh, yeah.
To
Still does not get their comments.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a good packet. We got 10 packets, Mary has to
Yeah.
give them all September 1st.
You know,
Yeah.
so kindergarten versus fifth grade is
Yeah.
very different, you know, but.
Yeah. So with those 3 days, we don't want to force or we don't want to sit in professional learning for those days. So our recommendation is that those days are working on curriculum implementation through team planning. And so we're allowing teachers to work on those days. So based on that, that is our professional learning plan and our calendar that people rarely look at. So we do have to
I hope this
publicly
bombs
approve this.
massively and they never do it again.
So,
Do you know how many people thought that we were off this Monday? Like,
uh-huh,
I mean, it was hilarious.
our attendance was way down.
We're all at the beach and everyone's like, what are you gonna do with your kids on Monday? And everyone's like, I'm gonna go to school. And like half the group's like, wait, what? Like, we have school Monday.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was very
It's
confusing.
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, in Michael, like was like texting Catherine Rasnick and was like, what are we supposed to do with the Pilates? And she's like, I'm sending Harrison to school. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people didn't know that.
So do we have a motion to approve our professional development plan for next school year?
I guess.
Miss Russell and Miss Bowers, all in favor of approving, please say aye.
Yes, with reservations.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And with the days there, we have to put
I
something there.
just think it's so dumb, like so incredibly dumb.
Why are the opinions of this one small
Well, it's
organization?
not small.
But the rationale makes no sense. You don't have to plan for, like, between Friday and Monday, do you need an extra day to plan?
I mean, I do.
It's nothing really for Monday, like, but they don't give us like,
Yeah.
then we'll just go to 4-day weeks because it's so exhausting.
Oh,
to have
that
to
would
do
be
any
wonderful,
planning.
yes.
Yep. Okay, so the next items on here is you have copies of our Munis
This is what's wrong with the.
Statements. We have until April 30th to finished spending out all of this. I'm going to talk a little bit about end of year spending. So you can see here, in our section 6 budget, which ends on page 3, we have $12,818.82 left. Our goal is to get to 7,500 for carry forward, because we can carry forward that much. Most of that is the copier. So it's not like we don't have a ton of money sitting here. We've spent pretty much everything except for the copier costs. So, but we're in a good financial state. I'll talk to you a little bit about what we're planning to purchase with end of year funds. With the school activity fund, we have, get to that page. We have $101,075.56. I will say the district is harping on us to spend this money. So we have made some plans. A lot of it's staffing. So a lot of it's staffing, but we have intentionally recommended to purchase a lot more stuff. You've got a bigger budget next year. So like you can see, we have the energy award, which has roughly $4,000 in that, which is very restricted in what we can use. One thing we can use that for is gardens. So we have a teacher, MSD teacher, who's planning to create a sensory garden for some of our students. We have another special ed teacher who's in talks about creating a community garden and getting a garden club going. And
Through pay accounts
yes,
and through organizations that they can get.
yes,
I mean, Food Chain will come in and give you whatever you want.
yeah.
So will Seafood.
Yeah, so that's where we're just in the beginning stages of connecting and building those, and but those are pieces. So that's something we're spending out. That money is just so restrictive as to what we can spend it on.
Contact
Awesome.
you know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And there's a mom on PTA who she works with Seafood for.
Okay,
I can't
awesome.
remember, she's an officer. I can't remember her name.
Okay,
Mm.
so
I can take food.
so with our end of year spending, here is what we are planning to purchase. So we are, between all the money we have left over, we're planning to renew our Pebble Go subscription. We're planning to get literacy footprints for kindergarten and first grade. These are, it's only going to be one set because they're super expensive, but it's pre-planned guided reading programs that we have the second grade kit. So this would be adding kindergarten and first grade. We're continuing with our subscription with Mystery Science, because we had a lot of utilization with that.
All grade levels are using it?
It's not all grade levels, but I think we're going to do some professional learning in those
I would
curriculum
really love to
implementation
all grade levels.
around what's available in that program. The next thing is an item called Swivel M2. If you've heard at one point, there were these cameras that had you wore a little lanyard, put your phone in a little stand, and it followed you around and recorded you. This is a newer version of that, which actually gives like feedback and uses AI to engage. And so it's something we want to pilot and utilize. The item is not very expensive, so we want to just see how it works. We've seen great success with it. We're going to be selecting a certain few people to be like, hey, you're going to be our guinea pig to kind of do this. And we know it's not you. It may be somebody else at this table, but it's not you. So, but it's just, that we think it could help us because we've struggled to get any gift feedback.
If I not record myself.
Yep. So we need to purchase additional radios, like our school radios, because as behavior has increased, we've had a difficult time communicating with sometimes. So this just allows for better safety measures. There may be some cost with this swivel to get a subscription. That's not sure. This next piece is the core connections training. Currently, the council funded for 4th and 5th grade this year to do that program. We're in talks with that professional learning company to come in and start moving into 3rd grade and work on text mapping and building the foundations for 4th grade. And then we'll kind of do some more personalized instruction for 4th and 5th.
And I will say, I have been here a really long time. And I don't think I've ever done a writing training that well. Like, it's really, really good. And I don't say nice things unless I mean it. So, it's excellent. It's well thought of. I mean, it's geared toward children. It's applicable. It's like, I've done some really bad writing trainings, like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, some really, really bad writing trainings, and this is really, really good.
And it's great because literally we can text our trainer like today and she'll respond in an hour. Like, she's my wife's best friend apparently now. So, because my wife texts her all the time. But so it's a great resource, and we've built this really strong.
So are we doing that with other schools?
There are two other, so Brenda Cowan and Stonewall are
Okay.
continuing with us. And then we also have Sandersville, who's going to be coming in at year 1 and starting with 5th grade this year. But as I said, our reading data is really showcasing that this is impacting our reading scores as well, because we're seeing
Well,
massive.
and the
growth.
thing is, it is writing for life. It is writing the type of writing every adult does. It has a point. You're making, rationale.
But it
It's
also
not
is
teaching like, and
Personal narrative.
it's not teaching a personal narrative. It's not teaching poetry. It's not writing a memoir. Like, it is the type of writing that you need to do to be
It's also
successful.
reading and how to read to get information.
yes.
So it's.
Okay.
Well, and everything I told my kids when we talk about preparing for the KSA, I'm like, okay, we're gonna take a reading test that has some science, and we're gonna take a math test a reading test that has some math, and we're gonna take
Yeah.
a reading test that has a bunch of reading. Like, everything is reading. And so she does do text analysis, and I mean,
Yeah.
she just does a really, really good job.
And so 3rd grade will be focused more on the reading side of things. And
Taking side, like kind of pull out the important information.
because what we
Which
found
will
is our
help
kids,
us
our kids can
jump
do
here.
really well with writing. They struggle with the text mapping and the understanding of the text, and pulling out relevant information and details.
And it will be nice to see like someone
A
come
progression.
like ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes into the classrooms and helps model as well. And then she also is willing to like watch teachers teach the lessons and give immediate feedback. And so it's really nice. Mhm.
Yeah. So then additionally, continuing our subscriptions with Brain Pop Junior, Vocabulary, Brain Pop, Raz Plus that we did for our EL program. Then we also have need an additional RISE kit, which is a small group instructional similar to Literacy Footprints. We've had multiple grade levels utilize that, and it's hard when
You're juggling the same book that between hallways and.
Is there a way to like when they keep sending out emails that things are missing, can you buy pieces and parts?
we can't buy pieces. That's the issue is so.
Yeah.
It's
Because
part
I
of that.
get those emails like, does someone have da da
Yeah.
da da da? Okay.
So we're trying, as we have these extra funds, we're trying to get those things that are being used, because we've got a room here that's full of stuff that no one uses. We want to have things that actually are going to be used, and these are programs that are being used. Then we have some general supplies, moving supplies, just in case there's any grade level moves, and then inflatables. Inflatables for field day. So we've got Mr. Newsom has gotten us a quote for 3 big inflatables for field day.
So things that we would have.
No,
or like-
we rent them.
We rent them.
Yeah. No, I don't want to maintain those.
Good.
So-
The insurance that comes with that? No.
Yeah.
Is that like this stuff that's in it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah. So these are the items that we'll be purchasing to kind of finish out the year. This came from feedback from teachers, kind of their request, some things we know we needed, and then we tried to continue things we were already doing that the council had approved
I
last
would
year.
only buy this.
Does this spend all of the money?
Yes.
That's great.
This gets us down, except for that energy award, because I can't do anything with that except for a garden or lights.
Yeah.
So, but it gets us enough that the district will stop yelling at us. It could buy trees. It could do, we've also filled out another grant application to get how many more trees? 10, 25,
I think we did 15.
15 trees. So we're just,
We did lose some.
Yeah.
You know?
These are all big trees too, like I'm talking like sycamores and like big trees,
Yeah.
so Ben was wanting 25, I thought, that's a stretch, let's maybe start with 15.
so,
Which also seems like a lot.
So I've written everything down.
Oh,
so
you
this
got
is
it,
a
Grace.
sheet of paper.
You know.
so yes, yeah, it's a whole, there's a whole page.
Wow.
It says
man.
20.
It was literally next to your page that you were writing on.
Okay. Okay, so we don't have any committee reports this evening. We don't have any policies to review. We don't have any old business. So we'll move into new business, which the first item here is the enrollment update. You can see here our enrollment continues to go up for the most part. I can tell you kindergarten today lost 2 students, so that's now at 77, and first grade lost 1 student, so that's now at 97, or 2 of them did. So we're officially at 454 as of 3:40 this afternoon.
Did they move in the district?
No, they moved out of county.
Can I just bring up some, I'm just
Yep.
curious about how have, well, I'd say this hopefully, with the international students at UK getting visas, I mean, revoked. Have we gotten any?
We've not heard,
Family?
no family has approached us saying that they are affected by those situations. Our number of students that are coming from that sort of world has dwindled significantly in the last 2 years. So we don't have a ton that are in that situation. Yes. No family has approached us stating that. We've had a few students that have chosen to return to their home countries in Central and South America. We've had a few that choose to go back to European countries, but it hasn't been anything that's like we're leaving like because our visa's been revoked from what we can tell. So so the next item is our attendance update. We continue to be up and down. I know this will shock everybody, but the week before spring break was a down week. So we did not have, it wasn't terrible attendance unless you're in kindergarten. They were at 91% for that week. We did run kind of an attendance competition through the month of March just to try and make it more fun. And some classes really did great with it, and other classes it didn't impact them at all. But it was Miss Shin's class won that competition.
Oh God, because Cooper skipped going to the final or not for the like, high school basketball tournament because he wanted to. Adrian is like, I can't get Cooper to go with my dad, Cash, and his granddad to Rough Arena to watch basketball because of this attendance.
Well, they won. They're getting their pizza party tomorrow. So
That really makes my day.
it worked.
Get sun.
Yes.
Me day.
So yes, they're getting their pizza party tomorrow.
Can't wait to text them when I-
So it was, I mean, it was really close. It was Miss Meadows and Miss Shin's class, and Miss Meadows' class was asking me every single day, who's winning, who's winning, who's win, like, and so it was.
There were a lot of younger classes in particular, even second grade. They were like, "Well, this kid moved."
Yeah.
It
So,
was the worst week. The worst attendance I've had all year was that.
oh,
first bracket week.
that first week was rough. The
I mean,
first
it
week,
was a really bad, like, look at that March.
yeah,
like, the
that was
first one of them,
94.65. That was the week.
At that point.
Yeah,
that-
like fourth grade was 93. It was a bad, like, I swear that was just my class. It was
Yeah.
really bad.
Second and fourth had a really hard time that week.
And we were defeated the first round and we just didn't care anymore.
Yep. Yeah, it did. We need to figure out a solution for if you lose early because it had no impact on those classes after that point. So we need
And I
to,
swear we've been 100, like,
Uh-huh.
we would have won.
so the next, yeah,
Yes. Like, second chance bracket.
NTI, or NIT,
Yep.
sorry.
Maybe we should have tardy competitions because
Uh-huh. that may, yeah, we're looking at all sorts of pieces there. So the next item here
stragglers.
is staffing and hiring update for 24-25. We currently have one position that is vacant. It's a special education paraeducator position that's being filled by a long-term sub. So we have somebody here for that. So officially we're fully staffed, but unofficially we're not. It's yeah. So when we look at 25-26, I sent this out to the council last evening, and these positions have posted, and I've started getting emails about them. So we have a music teacher, 2 classroom teachers, 2 special ed paras, and an EL teacher that are posted. I have tentatively saved these dates and times for interviews. We're currently reviewing applications and screening individuals. So if anybody's interested in sitting on any of those interviews, please let me know.
I'll put it on May 5th and May 12th.
Okay. Yeah.
You change a day, I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursdays are always full.
So, but yeah, so and I'll send it out as we get closer. Like this is the candidates pool. We're
To the
A lot of bites.
sixth.
it just posted last night, and where there's a new application system. So I believe that there is,
Like a holding cell
yeah, because we've only gotten 3, but I've gotten 12 emails
saying that they.
saying I applied.
Okay.
So it's like
But it's a brand new system, so
Set
when
on
they
the
log in the first time, it forces you to
Potentially,
have
but
to
I don't know.
resubmit a background check.
Change it to the
In
sixth.
Frontline, you didn't really
Maybe.
have to do
I'll
that.
look and
It
see.
would just say it wasn't on file. Now it literally won't show up. Like you have to
Okay.
with the new system.
yeah, so
They
we
could
think
pay
there's a
you
lot of
$10
people
fee,
that
yes.
are just working through that process. But I'm getting a lot of emails about it. With EL, the district EL department is interviewing today for candidates that they have. And so they are going to let us know if there are additional candidates they don't go with that we may want to consider.
It worked
So-
before on classroom teacher.
So the district, like, you can't take somebody.
No, we
sorry.
can.
Oh, you can.
Yes.
Okay.
There was confusion on that we thought we weren't going to be able to pull from the current EL.
Happened before.
Yes,
Are you
but
sure? Do you have that in writing?
I've gotten it. I talked to the EL specialist
Do
today.
you have it in writing?
I do not have it in
I
writing,
would get
but
it in writing.
so
Do we know if?
Did we not get burned? You got burned.
they're both right now. And there are individuals that are currently on staff that may be in that pool to be brought back. We just need it to be able to look at end of year data and make final decisions with that in mind. With that, I will say we are a very primary minded staff. We have a lot of staff members that want to live in the primary world. We struggle to find people that want to live in the intermediate realm. Like convincing someone to be a 5th grade teacher in this building is like the hardest thing in the world. So if we can find people that are willing to consider intermediate, that would be more beneficial to us as a school long term. As we look at retirements coming up in the future, most of our intermediate staff is nearing that point. Where our primary staff has multiple more years in that side of the building. So that's what we're kind of piecing together. As we look at grade level placements and everything, we'll be looking holistically.
Like 5th grade is its own personality. Like first of all, they smell like it's during his mating season.
Right.
Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
animal like tendencies going on in 5th.
I walked down there to go out the hallway for girls in the run and I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. So some people are very much,
Graders are lovely.
yes,
Lovely.
they were not lovely where you were.
They're independent. I love a 4th grade.
And that was a parent of and like knowing this class, oh my God, those 4th graders are great, but where I was, those 4th graders were not great.
Yes. So
Now I taught 1st grade for a year.
for a year.
Not enjoyable.
Well, I get it.
I taught with Jan. Jan was my partner and I was fine, but I mean, like, it was just not my thing.
But it's so funny now because I looked at these, like, it's the things that.
But I also had small children at the time and I was like, I feel like I'm with you home.
Like, it's not the same.
yeah, it's a totally different world. And so I think if we can go into it thinking, hey, can we find anybody intermediate minded, that's going to at least be helpful for us.
But at the same time, it's kind of just.
We can go anywhere and we're going to go for the best candidate available. I will say we would like to make a concerted effort and we will be through the application process to find minority candidates just to make sure that we are staying representative of our community with that.
What
So
is your goal? What is your hiring date goal? Like a
May 6th and May 9th.
May 6th?
May 6th, May 9th, May 16th, May 13th. Goal is quick, especially with like special ed paras, those are going to be forever. I think the other ones, the sooner we can, the sooner we
I mean, you
have.
could
So
not go any fast. Like, can you not go back? No.
Is that
When does it
sped pool still
close?
Very small.
it's 15 days. So it doesn't
Oh,
close till
okay.
April 30th.
Is that sped pool still very small?
That's where we don't, the SPED para, yes, it will be tiny. Regardless, and that it'll be tiny and we could be on a revolving. Yeah, it could be on a revolving door where we're hire somebody and then they get another job. And we hire somebody and they get another job. And then, yeah. I mean, luckily the core, because we have a lot of special ed paras here. The core group that we have is phenomenal. Like, and so the fact that we have 12 like phenomenal special ed paras and then 2 phenomenal preschool paras is like unheard of. Like, so we are by no means like having to hang on to people just because we can't afford vacancies. We are keeping people because they are quality and they are driving us forward with all, and I like with those special ed paras. So yes, I'll follow up with more details. We're also going to be, as we screen candidates, we're going to be using a new program this year that they will just record a video and send us the video with some questions for the screeners, so that rather than us,
So we
yes,
don't do the Zooms for 15 minutes for 6 straight days.
yeah. So it's they can
that
do those
we
pieces.
Watch their answers and fast forward. We can put it on like 1.5 speed.
So, but they can't, like, when they click into it, it's not like you can record multiple times.
Oh, I
It's
2 chances.
okay.
I did that.
Yeah.
That leadership.
Oh, yeah.
It's intimidating.
So it's very much, you just have to,
Staring at yourself, answering the question to nobody, and it's awkward.
so
You get to
Yes,
see it
you
in
get to,
print
you get
first.
to read it first, and then you push record when you're ready.
You have 2 minutes timed, like you have. 2 minutes or
But
less,
it's
or a
just
half
your
hour, which I
face.
do.
You're looking at your face and the clock is counting down. And so you're trying to remember what to say. And if you screw up, you can hit pause and do it again. But you don't get to watch it back. So if you screw up the first time and you redo it, you have to go with that.
And do
second
you see
time,
the
even if you screw
questions?
up.
Like, do you
Yeah.
see the
See it
questions?
before you ever click record.
You see the questions and you can read it. You can think about it for 10 minutes if you want to before you hit go.
But until you open it, you don't know the question.
Correct.
Okay.
So like cue cards like
Yeah.
that are like.
so it's just something we're going to explore. That we do. I mean, really, our screening questions were just to kind of get
It's just they
see
you already
people's
put
personality.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And who do you screen?
and we
Everybody?
screen we
that
pretty
works.
much send it out comprehensively and say,
For any position?
yeah, let's screen you. Like, let's get to know you. Like, because I'd rather talk to somebody or watch a video of them for 5 minutes than sit there and try and figure out them on a resume,
It
because
was
they
great.
all look
Last
the same.
screen so many people that even we were still screening people at one point in the summer, and I was literally sitting on the beach with headphones and listening to Ben talk to these people. That's the way to do it.
So,
Like
Certified building.
yes, he started the Friday before Mr. Barnett. Yeah.
He took my
But yes,
advice.
Mr. Barnett. He's a he just got done student teaching. He's going to teach overseas. So,
No, you're not.
But he is a certified.
Yep. so
It leads to me. He
Okay.
got here early.
the next item on here is just notification SBDM elections. The windows are now open for SBDM elections. We have 3 teacher positions and 2 parent positions to be filled. We do still need a minority candidate for the council as we sit at the rate above the percentage. It's literally, if you have 8% minority, you have to have a minority candidate. So Ms. Khan, one of our special education teachers, is coordinating the teacher election, and the PTA will be coordinating the Megan does it.
Okay.
I've not reminded her yet. Yeah. So she coordinates the parent election. Typically the parent election is delayed behind the teacher election. So, we don't have any other agenda items, so we're at the favorite motion of the night, which is adjournment. Motion by Ms. Hill, second by Mr. Beasley. All in favor of adjourning the meeting, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned at